Here are my Game Week 30 transfers, team selection, and looking back at Game Week 26. Let's get into it.
Yo, listen up, Rue is stepping up the game, where fantasy Premier League runs in his veins. From transfers to captains, he's always on top, guiding you through every game week non-stop. They say Rue got that Salah flow. Welcome to the channel, enjoy the show. Wild cards, free hits with so much vibe. If you're hunting for success, then make sure you subscribe.
G'day mate, welcome back to the channel. I'm FPL Roo and welcome back to another FPL video. So in today's video, we're going to be going through my Game Week 2019 very quickly. Looking forward to Game Week 30 as well, looking at my transfers, what moves I'm going to make and potentially could be taking a -4. If you are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe and hit a like on this video if you do end up liking it. So first of all, Game Week 2019. To be honest, I don't want to go into it too much. It was a shocking game week. Areola being my highest point scorer, obviously without the chip, without the captaincy armband on Heung-min Son, who ended up getting 4, Areola 3. Rest of the team blanks, took a -8 as well, so I did end up being on 13 points. Again, the less said, the better. The red arrow wasn't too bad considering I only scored 13 points and I didn't use my free hit. Hopefully, this means my free hit will come into play and will be more useful later on in the season, but it doesn't look good. I should have probably just kind of stuck to, okay, I'm not playing my free hit. Don't try and get players in that might damage you. Just roll with it. Obviously, that is a bit of hindsight, but we'll move on to Game Week 30 now, and here's my team selection.
So for my Game Week 30 team, I'm going to start off in goal. I've decided to play Areola in Newcastle away. I know Raya is a better goalkeeper, but for me, I think Man City are definitely going to score against Arsenal. So I have decided to go for Areola in goal. Yes, Newcastle not away is a tough game, but with the way Newcastle have been kind of playing recently, it's not always a guarantee they're going to score, whereas Manchester City, I think they are going to score almost definitely. Defence actually looks okay for this week if they all do start, but Pedro Porro Luton at home should start. Good fixture for him. Obviously, I can never trust Spurs with a clean sheet, but hoping he can get attacking returns. And to be honest, if they're going to get a clean sheet, it's going to be in this game week. Alex Moreno with a decent fixture as well. It's a derby though, a West Midlands derby against Wolves at home. It's a tough one because obviously Luca Digne's back now, so he potentially has that left back slot, but Moreno did play in Game Week 29, so yeah, it is a tough one to call. I'm just hoping he does start. However, I do have Gabriel on my bench, who is flagged, and Doughty on my bench, who is flagged, so hopefully at least one of them are back if Moreno doesn't start. Adam Smith comes in as well. Everton at home, a good fixture. I know a lot of people had Zabani from the double game week in 28. I decided to go for Adam Smith, who obviously didn't score, so that was disappointing. Hopefully he can get a return in this game against Everton, and Everton have been on terrible form. I think they haven't won in 11 games. Kind of since that ban, the deduction, they went on a good run, and then since it kind of almost got overturned, yeah, I don't think their form's been great, and they're going to be in big trouble if they do get points deducted again. But overall, defence I'm actually pretty happy with. 3 home games for my defenders. They're all pretty attacking, hoping they can get a attacking return alongside their defensive, maybe a clean sheet. Who knows? Maybe Spurs will keep a clean sheet in this game week. But overall, I am pretty happy with them. I just hope Moreno starts, and I hope Spurs do actually keep a clean sheet in this game. So now we'll move on to the midfield. Probably my strongest part of the team, to be totally honest with you. We've got James Maddison and Heung-min Son with Luton at home. Again, Spurs normally score against everyone. I know they didn't in Game Week 29 against Fulham, but I think they're going to want to bounce back. And I think Maddison and Son can both get on the score sheet or get a return at least. And I think it is a game that Spurs are going to want to win desperately, to be honest, because there are some tough fixtures for Spurs coming up. They've got West Ham away, then they've got Forest at home, which is another good fixture, but then they've got Newcastle away, Arsenal at home, Liverpool away, Burnley at home, and then their 2 rearranged games are Chelsea away and Man City at home, so that's going to go in probably 34 or 37 or either both or even 35, so a very tough run-in for Spurs. So this game is probably a must-win game if they are. Well, every game's pretty much a must-win game, but obviously City and Arsenal and and the tougher games are not must win, but they need to win this game, to be honest, to still be in a chance of winning, of getting top 4. So yeah, I think they're going to want to do well and want to kind of right their wrongs from game week 29. I can't see them doing back-to-back performances like they did kind of earlier on in the season, and I think they will bounce back. Douglas Luiz again, home game, a derby. He'll be on pens. It's a tough one. He is one for the chopping block this game week. I think now that I've used him in game week 29, he might not be needed for my team. He did do well for me earlier on. I guess the first week I brought him in, he got a 15-pointer, so I can't really argue with that. But obviously, he didn't perform in game week 29 where I did need him the most. Yeah, he'd probably be gone for me this game week, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the video. Jared Bowen, Newcastle away again. A fixture normally on paper you'd say is tough, but Newcastle have been shipping goals recently. Botman is out for the season, and that obviously does weaken their defence. I think he is their best centre-back, so that will weaken their defence even more. Trippier potentially might be out still as well. So yeah, I do fancy West Ham to score in that game, and I think Jared Bowen, he hasn't scored in a few games. I think he's due a goal. So far this season, 14 goals, 3 assists, so he is doing very, very well. But obviously he has been on a little bit of a dry patch. He hasn't scored in 3. Obviously then he got the hat trick before that. So yeah, I do expect Bowen to get a return in this game, especially against that Newcastle defence. And then Cole Palmer, Burnley at home, a very good fixture and a potential captaincy option. I have got Son as captain at the minute, but I think my transfer in will be my captain. But for now it is on Son. Like I said, Cole Palmer has been a revelation this season, so cheap. He's still only 5.7 million. He's on pens. He's scoring, assisting from open play. 11 goals, 9 assists in 19 starts. So 20 returns in 19 starts is very, very good. And yeah, he is definitely a captain option for this game week. I know Burnley got a result against Brentford in game week 29, but I think Chelsea have started to pick up a bit of form. They're in the FA Cup semi-final now. They've won. Yeah, they've got some good results, I'd say, in the league. Over the last few. So they did beat Newcastle at home, then drew to Brentford, drew to Man City, and beat Crystal Palace away before losing 2 in a row to Wolves and Liverpool. But I do fancy Chelsea to get a few goals in this game, and I do think someone like Nicholas Jackson could be a nice pick to go alongside Cole Palmer. We'll move on to the forwards. We have got Ollie Watkins again. I've got loads of Villa and Spurs players because of the blank game week, but Wolves at home for him, a derby. Yeah, I think Ollie Watkins does love a derby, and like I said, he's been on fire this season. Yes, he hasn't scored in the last 2 games, but there have been Spurs at home, West Ham away, so not the easiest games. 16 goals, 15 assists from this season, an incredible return, and hopefully he can get a few minutes for England and get a goal to kind of, I guess, break that short spell without a goal, 2 games, which for him this season has actually been one of his longest runs without a goal, which shows how great he has been this season. But I do fancy him to get a return this game week, especially with the injuries Wolves have got. I know it's mainly attacking options like Neto or Cunha or Hwang, but yeah, I think that will just see them not be. I think yeah, Villa will win that game comfortably, and I think Ollie Watkins will do well in that game. Ivan Toney, my next striker, Man United at home. Again, maybe on paper it's not the best game. Brentford are in terrible form. They haven't won in 6. They've only won 1 in the last 9, which is shocking. Even before that, it's shocking. They need to start getting results. Toney did start well when he first came back, but he hasn't scored in 5 games, which is pretty bad for him. So far this season, 4 goals, 1 assist in 10 games. Yeah, and I think this game, Brentford are going to need to win, to be honest. Man United, I know they've obviously beat Liverpool in the FA Cup, but we know what they're like. They do get a good result, everyone gets happy, and they just go back to normal and back to being inconsistent. But Man United need to win this game in order to be in the race for the top 4, and Brentford need to win it to obviously stay up. So it's going to be a massive game, and I actually do fancy Toney to get a return in this one. Hopefully he can. And hopefully he can get me a few points, because he was disappointing last week. Obviously, his team were down to 10 men, which is, a bit harsh on him, I'd say. Obviously, he's not going to get as many chances, but probably still should have scored. And I'm hoping he can return the favour and score against Man United this game week. On the bench, Carlton Morris, Spurs away. I actually don't mind playing him in this game. As I've said, I think Spurs will concede, even though I've got Pedro Porro. But yeah, I think there are better options. My midfield's so solid, my strike force is solid, so Carlton Morris does stay on the bench. But we will go on to my transfers. Obviously, these are just potential transfers, but I'm probably going to make one of them, absolutely. So we'll get on to that. So my first transfer, I think I'm definitely going to make, I think, if obviously nothing goes wrong. But it's Douglas Luiz to Mohamed Salah. Salah's back now. He's played a few minutes, played in the FA Cup, played in the Europa League, came on against Man City in the league as well. So I think he is back now. He's fit, and I want him straight in my team. I know I'm probably going to play my wild card in game week 31, but I want him in my team for this game against Brighton. I think Brighton are a team that do concede a lot of goals. I know, and they can be on the end of 4-0, 5-0 absolutely easily. But at the same time, they can obviously win 3-1, 4-1. They're out of Europe now, so that does maybe make things a bit harder for teams playing Brighton. They're not going to need to rotate as often, but they do have a lot of injuries as well. And I do fancy Liverpool to win this game and score a few goals. So that's why I'm bringing in Salah. I'm probably going to captain Salah as well, to be totally honest with you. I think he is a better captain than Son, just because I am worried that Luton will set up a bit more, I guess, solid than Brighton would. And I think, obviously, I think Liverpool are probably a slightly better attacking team than Spurs, but there's not much in it. And with Richarlison back, Son could also go out on the left, which I think does dampen his FPL appeal. So that is probably going to be my move, David Luiz to Mo Salah. However, I could actually do another move and do Morris to Darwin Núñez, and then maybe just bench Douglas Luiz. So that would mean I'd basically prefer Darwin Núñez over Salah, which I'm not loving, to be honest. But if there's any inkling that Salah might not start in game week 30, then I think Darwin Núñez is a very, very nice option. So that is also a choice for me to go for. I'd definitely, what am I joking? I'm definitely gonna prefer Salah, but if there's any sort of rumour that he might not play, or he might be injured, or his minutes might be reduced, he might only play 60, then I'll probably go for Douglas Luiz. I'll probably go for Darwin Núñez. So I do prefer Salah though, but let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are you bringing in Salah this game week? Smash a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let's get to 2,000 before the end of the season. I can't do it without you subscribing, so I would really appreciate that. And hopefully my tips and my videos can help you win your mini leagues and climb the ranks. Catch you in the next video. Cheers.